everyone, and welcome back to Dunker's Domain. Hello, hello, hello. Today's the day, or tonight's the night. However you want to see it. FNAF Security Breach The Ruin DLC comes out tomorrow, 3 a.m. my time. And so yeah, it's now or never if I'm gonna try to get this Ruin theory done, let alone uploaded, but done. I've been sitting on this for I wrote the script itself for a few days. I've been sitting on this theory for at least a few months. It's been rough. Procrastination is real. Procrastination is very real. But yeah, so yes, my FNAF Security Breach Ruin theory, and it's a very hot take. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone else say this. Everyone else is kind of saying, oh, it has to be one of the endings from Security Breach. And with me saying that, you can probably guess, I think FNAF Security Breach Ruin DLC, is a prequel. Yeah, I do in fact think it's a prequel. And before you go into the comments and you go be like, but Dunker, it can't be a prequel because yada yada. Just hear me out. Just hear my train of thought. I'm a little long-winded. This is my second attempt at making this video because I kind of felt like I wasn't getting my thoughts all together, and I went off the script that I typed up. I went off script. But here it goes. So why exactly do I think Ruin is a prequel? And to be honest, when we first got that first teaser images of like Gregory and the TVs in like the little main area where we first encountered Chica in the game, we see Ruin Chica there, and we see the girl there. Well, we assume is Cassie, because we later learned from the trailer. We get that teaser image, and I mean, I thought that. I'm like, okay, Ruin. I'm like, oh, it could be a prequel. Purely because just looking at Chica, it didn't seem right. Chica looked different than how we destroyed her in the main games. Which, of course, if Ruin is taking place not necessarily right after Security Breach, like that next day or whatever, like a few months, like, okay, I can be okay with the fact that the animatronics look different because they're continuing to not be maintained. They could be bumped into stuff. It could just get ruined. But I was like, just in the back of my head, looking at Chica, I'm like, no, this feels different. It feels like one of those scenarios where if you take a plate and you have like the same plates, like 10 of those plates, and you drop them all, they're not all gonna break the same. And I think that's where my train of thought was going. I'm like, okay, no, this feels like Chica was broken differently. But that's all I really had to go with, my gut. So I set on it, of course. And then I believe the trailer came out a few months ago now. And of course, like everyone else, I was really hyped for it. I still am. I was hyped watching it. I'm like, yes, let's go. This looks awesome. And then I thought, okay, like we see Chica again. We see Monty. And then we see Roxy. And I'm like, okay, Monty's still in half. Like, we break Monty in half, but like, he's literally just Endo. Like, there's nothing else really left of Monty. And Roxy is definitely different from when we break her. Like, yeah, you could say she's a little more deteriorated or ruined as well, but her face is different. It has those two eyes. Ports, like, it looks like the tool that we see Cassie have later or some point in Ruin. And I was like, okay, like, I guess you could say that, like, the other two animatronics also appear, especially Roxy, different than how we left them in Security Breach. But then along with the tool, like I just mentioned, the two prongs, and we see Cassie slide up the little dial slider, and then the briefcase camera, which you also maybe could see Gregory running with. It's hard to tell in the teaser image. And I was like, okay, those kind of seem maybe not as high-tech as what we were dealing with, like the fast camera. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, nope, those tools are like before that. And then along with the animatronics looking a little different, I was like, okay, there might be something here, And I kept looking, but I couldn't place it. Basically, it's just like, okay, yeah, I want it to be a prequel, and this is why I think it is, and don't pay attention to the other stuff. But after watching the trailer for like the millionth time, it dawned on me that, it wasn't the trailer, it was the 8 teaser images we got, I believe Daco got during his charity live stream. And one of them is Chica Bakery. We see Chica's Bakery, just like anything else, is ruined. And then I was like, well, if it's not any of the endings that we have in Security Breach, like if we're saying it's not a continuation, so it's not off one of those endings, what else could it be? And then light bulb moment. I thought to myself, in Ruin, we find a sticky note, Roxy Raceway is on a sinkhole. And an event happened in Roxy Raceway before. The sinkhole opened up, or an incident happened because of the sinkhole. And I thought, bingo, that is it. The sinkhole that happens before is what is happening. Sinkhole happens, it affects the building. It's shakes on it, moves it, whatever. So some parts are fully like crashed out upon, some aren't. Everyone scatters. They have to close it down because they got to do something about that, let alone Roxy Raceway. It's shifted the whole building. And so I was like, okay, that's a good start. It's like, but why? Why would Gregory be there then? If it is prequel, why is Gregory there? And I thought, okay, well, maybe Gregory and Cassie were some of the kids by Roxy Raceway. And the sinkhole happened. Cassie was able to get out. Gregory wasn't as lucky. Gregory got stuck down there, got trapped. So, of course, he fashions a way, calls for help. Cassie's like, oh crap, Gregory didn't make it. And Cassie's like, let's do this! Like, Leroy Jenkins jumps back in. And I was like, okay, maybe Cassie goes back. We see, actively, then in the teaser images of Chica Bakery, we see construction signs. And I thought, we see that in Roxy Raceway, and I was like, because they're trying to fix everything. Okay, we're still going. So, what I'm surmising happening is Cassie actually does get to us. Whether we actually see Gregory, third person, like from Cassie's point of view or not, she does save Gregory. Whether or not Cassie gets out again or not, I'm not sure of. But I thought, okay, well, this could work. Because if we manage to save Gregory and get out, or Gregory gets out, what if he can't make it all the way out? He gets stuck. And he chooses to hide in Freddy. Which is a little bit of a leap because everything's ruined. Everything's crashed down upon. So he would have had to have waited either for Freddy to be fixed, or that is a new Freddy. Casing on a different endo. He hides in there, and that, because we start with Freddy, or with Gregory in Freddy. Like, okay, that a little dicey on the in-betweens there of how we get from A to B. But if you think about it, like, okay, it could make sense. So, with that, I was like, okay, what else is there? And I actually wanted to talk about this a little bit, whether it proves the prequel theory or not, is I haven't seen anyone mention Music Man. I've seen people say, oh yeah, Music Man should be in the Ruin DLC. Music Man was awesome. I hope we get to see him one more time, you know? And I totally agree. But I think we actually see him. And I haven't seen anyone else call this out in the trailer. There is a snippet. It zooms in on a staff bot. Staff bot's just laying in the rubble. Looks like it's been attacked or by Monty beforehand, or just kind of there. It's been crumbled. Stuff falling on it. In the back, you can see it almost looks like a red cheek. I'm like, okay, maybe that's Music Man's cheek. And then there's like a big rectangle metal piece that could be his mouth, because his mouth is the keyboard / the like TV panels with like has like the images in the back. I'm like, that could be Music Man. But anyway, back to my prequel. So I'm saying animatronics look broken differently. We have the sinkhole thing from before. Cassie going in to save Gregory, whether she gets out or not, could result in Gregory hiding in Freddy, resulting in Security Breach, where we see Security Breach start. And what was the last one? Yes. Eclipse. A little dicey here, but we see in the teaser images double red eyes, but in the trailer, Sun and Moon, when they're together calling them Eclipse, it's one white, one red. Double red could mean, that's how we tell Moon is in control. White and red means Sun has a chance of making sure they don't unalive us. But I was thinking to myself, BB Arcade is in Security Breach. And if you go through follow the glitch ending, Sun and Moon's combined. we see Eclipse, and then it ends. And I was like, what if that is showing a literal glitch in the system of when they got combined last, or I'm saying last, the prequel version from Ruin, and they had to work to get separated again. Kind of diving into the dynamic of, is sun fully sun? Is moon fully moon? When you combine something, it can I know technology is a little different. It can be hard to pull them back apart. So that's why Eclipse is shown in Balloon Boy, BB's Arcade, excuse me, in Security Breach. But we see him in Ruin. And yes, you can just say, well, one came before the other. But no, Security Breach, if you say Ruin isn't a prequel, Security Breach came before, he wasn't Eclipse then. So they wouldn't have that for the arcade machine. So I think that is kind of a little tell as well. So that was kind of my snippets, what I looked upon between the trailers, the images, like the construction site, the animatronics being broken differently, and just Eclipse showing up, and kind of the sinkhole thing beforehand, because it does happen before. Because some images we see, some things look more destroyed than others, the closer it probably was to the sinkhole. What does this mean for Ruin? More so, we're not going to really understand the gameplay-wise. I've seen some people say it resembles Princess Quest quite heavily. And if that's also the case, maybe that means Cassie doesn't make it. But I guess we'll have to wait to find out. But yes, that is why, to recap one more time, why I think the Ruin DLC is a prequel. Between the different animatronics, how they're broken, Sun and Moon with being Eclipse. The construction signs around the bakery because they have to fix up the other areas as well because of the sinkhole. It's okay if you guys don't agree. I know it's pretty messy, and it's a pretty fine line train of thoughts. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. We got probably another half a day here. I'm going to hope to get this video uploaded for the YouTube and the world to see and find out if I'm right or wrong. Is the Ruin DLC going to be a prequel? So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understand at least where I'm coming from for why I think it's a prequel. And enjoy the Ruin DLC, everyone. Until next time, I'll see you guys all in the next one.